redecorating the White House when she first moved in. She said it was in a shambles. It was like tattered curtains and carpets and the plumbing, the electricity, and everything just looked like it was just, and she said, this is the people's home. You know, we have dignitaries and politicians and presidents coming into our home. Like their first dinner was with like Margaret Thatcher.
Yes.
And she was like kind of embarrassed because she was like, I want people to come into our home and be like, this is America's home, right? We want to be proud.
Right.
So, and she didn't even use taxpayer money. She used privately funded money to redecorate the White House. But she got completely vilified. She did the same thing with the china, because the Margaret Thatcher dinner, they said there was some sort of like catty remark about how it was all mismatched china. Well, it was mismatched because the complete set, either there'd been broken plates or dishes or chipped, or people had stolen them to take a little bit of memorabilia. Yes, they'd probably take a little bread plate or whatever. You know, I got a memorabilia from the White House. I mean, so they had so she got this. There was all this controversy about the red china because she had this whole new china set made, and it was expensive, but once again, privately funded money, because she wanted to have people come and have a full set of china. So it was silly things like that. Mary Todd Lincoln, who I played, you know, had very similar issues. Like I told you, they loved Abe Lincoln, didn't like her because she loved her fashion. She was getting fine silks from, you know, she wanted to dress. She was kind of like into the royalty of it all. And she said, I should dress like a first lady, you know? So
she didn't though. If she didn't, it would be like, she's a schlump.
Yes.
She's homely.
Yeah, she's a hag, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And women cannot win.
And then, right. So
they can't. You can't win.
You can't. And she did the same thing. She redecorated the White House, got the same attack because it was Civil War, it was Depression. There was, you know, why is she doing this? But she felt the same way. She's the one the first woman who opened up the White House for public touring.
Really?
Yeah. So she too was maligned, and she lost 3 boys, horrific deaths, watched them die, terrible, I mean, awful. Then she had another son who completely was estranged from her at the end for some reason. She had melancholy because she lost all these, she lost all these children. She had seances, because that was her way of dealing with her grief.
Oh my gosh.
Whereas Nancy went into astrology. There's a lot of parallels between those two. But the interesting thing I realized was the first lady who didn't get vilified, who was beloved and almost could do no wrong, was
Michelle.
Jacqueline Kennedy. Well, there was Michelle too, but Jackie Kennedy. Because Jackie Kennedy did the fashion, redecorated the White House, the whole thing. She did the same thing, but it was the Camelot years. It was Camelot, and she was so beautiful, and everyone loved her, and they loved, you know, I don't know why, but I look at that too. I look at the two women, Mary and Nancy, and then I see like, well, why was Jacqueline Kennedy like, you know, just, she was like.
Do you think it's because she was
Keeping It Real with Jillian Michaels.